Hello everybody. The very last thing that we need to go over in your Unit 3 notes is how to read a weather map. Now there's nothing in this presentation that you will need to write down. You simply need to pay attention. This over here is called a weather symbol, what I'm circling. It is very likely that you will see something like this on the NCFE. They are extremely easy to answer. This that I circled would be the key. So you really are looking, they would give you a key telling you what every single thing means, and then they would give you an actual weather symbol and get you to predict what the weather is based on reading what that weather symbol is. So as long as you can look at a picture and match it, you should be absolutely fine. But I do want to go over everything with you to make sure that we have an understanding, so when you do see it, you'll be okay. And after this video, you're going to have a practice worksheet with it. So the first thing that I want to point out, other than the key that you would have, on the other side of the screen, you can see that each symbol is broken down. I'm going to go through each slide showing you a breakdown of these. The first one we're going to look at is wind direction. So going straight out of that circle by Weather City, you see a line pointing down. That is showing wind direction. With wind direction, this symbol is going to point in whatever direction the wind is blowing. So it's not always going down. Sometimes the arrow may be pointing up this way. So all you really need to know is the compass. So we know north, south, west, and east. Remember the direction of the jet streams because it goes wee all the way around the planet. So if I had an arrow that was pointing up like this blue one I drew, then we could say that the wind is going in a northwest direction. If that arrow was going this way, pointing straight over Weather City, then the wind is blowing east. So you simply look at the picture, see what direction this symbol is pointing, and then match that to a compass, and then you know the direction the wind is blowing for that particular location. Our next symbol is wind speed. So let's look back at this symbol. Notice how on the very tip of the weather direction, you see some little lines coming off to the side. Those are the lines representing wind speed. So right here, basically, so you have the wind direction. Any little like half line is going to be 5. These are knots, but you can basically think of them as 5 miles per hour or miles per hour. So if you have a little line, it's going to be 5. So if you have a longer line, it's 10 because that's made up of 2 little lines. So this one would be 5, 10, 15 miles per hour. So all you do is count. Usually they would give you this so you can match the picture. But if they ever don't, just think of it as a breakdown of 5. Or each long line is 10. So if you have a half a line, that's 5 miles per hour. Next one is going to be wind direction. This is the compass. So if you know a compass, then you're good on that. Notice the middle of the circle over here is colored in. This one's colored in a quarter. Well, that's talking about your cloud coverage. So if it's colored in a quarter, that means the cloud coverage is 25%. So the cloud is 25% covered in clouds. If you have that circle completely colored in, it's 100% cloudy. If it has nothing, then for some reason they can't see the sky. Maybe it's dark at night or something, and they don't know what the cloud coverage is. So that would be something where you would have that X. But if you can just estimate, is it 25% colored in, half, 75, or 100, then you're good. And again, you don't have to memorize this because you always have a symbol or a key you can look back on. You're just matching pictures. Next are your weather, the present weather symbols. So you got all these weird looking little symbols. Well, again, if we go back to our sample, the present weather is always going to be whatever this middle symbol is. So this middle symbol currently looks like a comma. So if I flipped back over to my weather symbols, I would see, I find a comma, and I found it right there. That means the weather in that current location is an intermittent drizzle. So it's just drizzling a little bit of rain, and that's all. So again, you're just matching. So let's do a sample one. Here let's look at, I'm going to actually pull up the actual worksheet. So we have our symbol showing. We are going to be looking at this city right here, Bismarck. So if I wanted to say what direction is the wind blowing, so wind direction, I know wind direction is going to be based on wherever the line is pointing. So in this case, it's pointing straight up. So I know the wind is blowing in to the north. What if it says, what is the pressure of Bismarck? Well, atmospheric pressure, looking at my little symbol key, is going to be whatever number is in the top right corner. Well, the number in the top right corner over here is 1014. So I know pressure equals 1014. And then if it asks me about my temperature, well, I look at my key and I know temperature is anything on the top left number, or the number on the top left side. So the number over here on the top left is 48. So temperature equals 48. What's the cloud coverage? Well, the circle's not colored in at all. So it's 0% cloudy. Now, this one does not have a present weather symbol, so they couldn't ask me what the weather is. But let's say that I wanted to look down here at Kansas City. So let's switch to orange. So Kansas City is right here. If I know that the present weather is whatever symbol is in the middle, so the weather in Kansas, if it's a little dot, I would have to find where my present weather symbol was by looking at the thing over here. One dot is rain. So I know that the weather in Kansas City, because it's that one little dot, is simply raining. And then lastly, if they ask me, what is the dew point in Kansas City? Well, I know dew point is any number on the bottom left, and the bottom left number over here is 50, so dew equals 50 degrees. So all you're doing when you get the weather symbol worksheet, this is a picture from that worksheet. It'll tell you a different city. I think the first city it asks you about is Dallas. And it will simply ask you questions like, what is the atmospheric pressure, or what is the weather, or how cloudy is it? And all you have to do is write down whatever it is matching up to this picture that we have, the key.